Hey ho, good neighbors, what's going on? I know you're starting to see me a lot again on live streams. I don't know if that's good or bad, but sorry, here I am. Anyway, I'm Phil Russer. It's Creatorcon Q A episode 134. We're always bringing you the best guests and the best talent, and tonight is no different. I bring you tonight somebody who is an inspiration in the community. I'm very serious about this. This is someone who there was no silver spoon handed. There was no assist up. This is someone who built a company from the ground up on their own with blood, sweat, and tears, and they are doing very well for themselves right now. And I'm very, very happy to have them on and talk with them because they truly are an inspiration for what many of us are trying to do. To doing it right, to doing it professional, and he does it with integrity, which is what really stands out to me. So we are going to discuss with the CEO of Black Box Comics tonight. Black Box Comics, their titles, where they're going from here, and their current Kickstarter campaign that you may not even be aware about right now. But we are going to make you aware if you're not, and then you're going to pledge on it, or I'm going to toilet paper your house. So anyway, without further ado, and I know I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong just because I'm not great with names, but Dimitrios Zaharakis.
Hey, thanks
Did I
for
get it
having
right?
me. You did great.
All right. It's the Greek name.
Yeah, it usually gets chopped up pretty badly, but that was really well done.
All right. Well, I'm trying. I didn't have to use Google Translate either. So, thanks for coming on. I know that you're usually not in the spotlight because you're busy. But as I said before, I feel that you are an inspiration to a lot of people. You see a lot of these indie people trying to get things done, move up, etc., and you're actually doing it. So credit to you for that.
Oh, thanks.
So tell us a little bit about the inception of Black Box Comics.
I've been doing banking for close to 20 years. And one of my original ideas was to create a character that's within the banking system and kind of uncovers corruption. So he basically plays like a detective. So that's pretty much what I did in my career, as being the head of IT and information security and things like that nature, which is kind of the core part of the bank. Um,
Right.
so that was just my initial motivation for everything. And I've been collecting comics since I was a kid. I always enjoyed it. I got to meet a lot of people through the shows, and um, everybody was kind of like, "Oh, why don't you just do your own book?" kind of thing. And I thought it was a great idea, so that's why I was talking to them about it. And I just think it worked out because you're able to visually just show. It's not just write out the story, but visually show what it looks like within the banking system, how it works, and a lot of the dramatic scenes you're able to play out within it. So from that point, I mean, I got to know more people, I got more ideas, and I just got hooked, and I've loved it ever since. I just keep creating.
Now, did you come out with the mindset of you want to start this big publishing company, or is just hey, let's put out a comic book, and it just naturally flowed from
It
there?
naturally flowed. I wasn't expecting this, to be honest, not at this level, but I'm happy I'm here. I mean, things happen for a reason, so this is the direction it took me in. These are the ideas I've been thinking about. And I've been very lucky and fortunate to work with amazing talent and good people that have helped me execute everything that we've done, and we've done it well.
Yeah, I mean, you've worked with Chuck Dixon, for example, as a writer on a book. Chuck's a great guy, one of my favorite writers of all time. Um, Will Clayton says, "Hey everybody."
Hey, Will.
Jordan says, "Black Box is great."
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Charles says, "Well, hello, Phil and Demetrius."
Hey, Charles.
And John Kotsis, who said, "What's up, guys? Hopping on real quick to say hi." And Dimitri, good job with all the Black Box comic stuff.
Thanks,
Great
John.
box, great stuff.
Appreciate it.
So, okay, at this point, you're starting to put out a few more titles, and are you thinking, why not the Kickstarter out? You went straight to distribution, right?
Yeah, I went straight. I just, for us, for visibility, right? Like, a lot more chances of being seen through the shops, and I've also grown up through going to shops as well. So I always think of it as a community thing. Um, so I thought that was just the best route for us in the beginning. We did do a Kickstarter for Bigs and Tiny #1, and I did it kind of like a test thing just to see how it plays out, see how it works, because I never did it before, and it did good. I thought it went really well, and then we pushed it through Diamond at that point.
Now, obviously, with everything going on with Diamond, they lost a lot of big accounts and this and that, and um, that kind of helps elevate you in the food chain with them, I would imagine too. I mean, you're up and coming publisher, and you are doing well, and they lost the big guys. Do you think that benefited you in any way? Because when they're doing print runs for DC and Marvel, I don't know if they put other people to the wayside. Because I've heard stories about their liaisons aren't always accessible, things like that.
Um, I don't. I won't say it's benefited us yet. At least not yet. I would like to think it will at some point. I mean, it should be an opportunity, right? With every kind of situation like that. It depends on who they decide to bring up. So I know they've done a couple of things where like they created a deluxe tier pricing for certain publishers, which is sort of I guess like option B sort of, because I think they have a tier A, but I believe most of their tier A has left. Uh,
Right.
so we'll see. Hopefully, we're going to be one of them that they push. I think we have the product for it, the quality for it. So it's all on them to balance out the market by pushing the indies, I think.
I agree. I mean, look, like you look at Dynamite Comics, they have Vampirella and they have Red Sonja, and those are really the only titles that you see from Dynamite, right? And they're probably into 20,000 sales and stuff. But people, I don't think, are really reading that. They're just collecting covers. Now you have beautiful covers, but you have stories that are worth reading. I mean, I have to say, Ninja Caden is great. I know that on the surface, people don't know what it is. They don't get it, and we'll
Right.
get into that story in a minute. But it's original. It's original and it's fun. It's well drawn. The sequential work is professional. I mean, obviously, you're succeeding because you have a professional level of quality. Um, I mean, it takes a lot of capital to get a publishing company going and getting you've got what, like 12 or 13 titles, and right now I think you're like really starting to hit, because Ninja Caden and then Dream Master are, the orders look like they're really good, and
Yeah.
they're going off the shelves.
Yeah. It's hard to tell sometimes because we're still fairly new, and we're growing, and each title pretty much has outsold the previous title.
That's
So,
good.
yeah, it's a good indication. Our followers are growing on Facebook. I think we've got like over 18,000. Instagram is like, I think 38,000.
Fantastic.
So you just inch closer to your goal every day. It's a slow and steady type of thing. Uh,
One fan at a time, right?
it has to be. I mean, it's just every area, every arm of your company will slowly grow. It's hard to see it. You know what I mean? And until maybe let's say 5 or 10 years, if you look at it from that perspective, you'll see the growth, right? It'll hit you all of a sudden. You'll be like, oh, we've reached this level now, and we have to up our print runs, or we have to expand our marketing, or whatever it is, because of those situations.
Now it's really hard. People don't understand how difficult it is to make money when you go through distribution. I mean, they take their percentage. The retailers have to have their markup. Print runs are expensive, especially if, depending on how much you're able to print.
Yeah,
Um,
just I mean, we'll say it. I mean, Diamond takes like 60% off, right?
yes, they do.
So there's not much left after that, the 40%, and then including in that 40% is your print run and your production costs.
Yeah,
So
because you can't. It's not like you can sell the book for more than $5. That's what's going on. You can't sell a $10 book.
right,
You have if you're lucky, the most you do is $4.99 retail, but 60% of that is $3.
right, right. I
You
mean,
know.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a killer.
So, I mean, without giving away secrets, what do you think is a good plan to circumvent and get around that so that you can start going? I mean, would you say just putting out multiple titles and trying to get more titles out there?
I mean, first I'll say, like, I don't think I'm giving away any secrets. I want to be just as helpful as the previous creators were. I've reached out to some people before that have been very helpful. So um, there's nothing to hide. I think it depends on what you're looking to do, right? So for me, my goal was to be seen and get our books out across the country, obviously to the rest of the world as well, because it's worldwide, our stuff. So I thought that was the goal. I mean, it wasn't so much of a profit thing. It was more for, marketing and
Exposure.
getting your name out there. Others, the financial side of it might be number one more than anything. So they'll do a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, whatever. And I think that's totally fine. I think what you could do is, if you're using that route, you build up your line, you have like multiple series ready, or maybe just, per arc or per volume that you do. And then you could push that out maybe through Diamond or something like that. So it depends on how you want to go about it. I don't think it'll be wrong either way. It's just what your preference is.
And I know that you've been putting out all of your titles, but you do have one title which I read, and it's really good, that actually isn't yours, but you're publishing them, correct?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And that was
Shinokai.
what's that?
Shinokai.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Shinokai.
It was submitted to me, and I read it. I love the art. I spoke to the guys. There's a great group of guys that are working on that.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned. I think you met Gus Mauk.
I know Gus. Yeah, he's gonna do a
Really
cover for me.
talented guy. Really talented guy. I think just on his way up. Michael Yakudis, who did the colors,
Yeah.
also another super talented guy who could really illustrate well.
Right.
And Neil, who did
He
the
wrote
writing.
it.
Yeah, I mean, they did such a phenomenal job on that. That whole series is fantastic, and they even got some amazing variant cover artists on that. So I'm very happy with that.
Zanti Lorenz Setuido, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, says good morning here. What's going on?
Morning.
John had said that he's reading Ninja Caden and he loves it. He recommends it to all. I
Thanks, man.
agree. It's in my. I stopped collecting comics cold turkey, but since reading some black box comics, I have them on my pull list.
Thank you.
Aaron says Yerp. That's Aaron for you.
You're
He's a big dog. So let me ask you, a lot of the small publishers, obviously because of costs, print runs, etc., they don't like to do ongoing series. They try to do self-contained stories, and limit them and stop. My philosophy with that, and I could be wrong, is, but then you're starting from scratch all over again when you put out a new title or a volume two or something, because there's no momentum being built that you would do with an ongoing. What are your thoughts on that as far as publishing ongoings versus that model of self-contained story that, 5-issue arc kind of thing, and then moving on?
Well, I mean, again, like, it's always your preference, business strategic plan, how you want to go about things. For me, I typically do 5-issue series for each volume. And I would love to continue all of them. And I have continued some, and I have several actually in the works that are going to continue. I think what happens in the indie market is they're not able to keep up with a monthly book for the most part continuously without any kind of break. So the best thing you can do is just to build up as many issues as you can to give you a head start, and try not to have a big break in between so that people don't forget about
You
the
mean
story.
26 scripts written and
Well,
yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I'm joking because that's me, but yeah, I agree. Get yourself at least 6 to 8 months ahead of the game,
yeah,
so that you can meet those deadlines, because
please, yeah.
that's a killer. I mean, that's what hurt Image, right? You had all these big names, but they weren't getting the books out in time. People have a short attention span. It was
Yeah,
killing them.
I don't think it's just Image. I mean, it's happened everywhere where there's like a 6-month break or a year break in between issues, I've heard, and that you don't want to do.
Right.
But if you could put out, 5 issues at a time, and they get the complete beginning to end of the story, and it's a story that they could actually just jump on, even if they didn't read volume 1, let's say, I think that could work in your favor.
Right. So would you ever have any plans to try do an ongoing, or you just gonna stick with this model?
Well, like I said, I mean, I already did a volume 2 for IT. I'm working on a volume 2 for Gin Hunter, Devil's Dominion, Ninja Kaiden,
Yeah.
stuff like.
By the way, Devil's Dominion is a really good story with great metaphors and symbolism. That's a really good book.
Yeah, my guy Brian, he's the writer on that. And shout out to Brian, he's an awesome, awesome writer and good dude. Gin Hunter was Jay Sandlin,
That's a good
also
book too.
fantastic writer. The artist Fabricio Cosentino, he's amazing. I mean, so again, like I've had just been lucky to work with this kind of talent. You know, you can think of the greatest ideas, but you also need people who will help you execute.
Right.
And these guys, they love the story. So one of the things I like is to hear that they love working on this title, and I get that a lot, and that definitely there's a lot of satisfaction with that.
Well, Black Box has a good reputation too of being a good company to work with, and you're a good person to work with. So it's good when you're a fan with a business mind, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know. Um, Now you had mentioned some titles that you're starting to do volume twos at. Sorry, that's Bear. That's you
Hi,
want to say hello?
how are you?
It's bedtime.
Is she taking over?
Um, yeah, she takes over everything. I think that she's gonna take over her school someday. I asked her, "Are you ruling the school or the world yet?"
Soon enough.
Yeah, no, yes, it is. But so are there any titles that you now that you're really making growing and getting momentum and stuff that you want to relaunch from number one, or you're just going to continue the volume twos?
I continue them. It'll just be volume 2, issue 6, 6 through 10, or sometimes I might do a 6 issue series instead. So
And how does that affect writing when you're writing self-contained stories like that? I mean, are you still setting up plots and stuff in the first five for the next volume? Are you thinking ahead like that, or?
sometimes I won't say always. We might leave something as a cliffhanger from volume 1 that they could expect in volume 2. But sometimes it's just self-contained, and it may not have anything other than the character itself to see how he grows. Maybe.
Cool. All right. Now, obviously, Ninja Kaiden is doing great. Issue three was just out. Dream Master launches this month. Well, it didn't come out yet though.
November 30th.
Right. Okay.
Really looking
It's
forward
on
to.
my pull list.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a huge book for us. Remaster is already getting a ton of orders, so we're really really excited about that book, and that's something I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. I would say almost. So
Really?
yeah,
Jonathan's a good writer too. I know Jonathan, and he's a talented writer.
very good writer.
He he usually does horror very well.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little about Dream Master? Why are we going to make it on our pull list for November 30th?
So I mean, he's basically your hero within your dreams or nightmares. Let's say he's the forgotten paladin, as Jonathan put it. Uh, it's I'm trying to think. I mean, it's been compared to like if you think of it as a reverse Freddy, as Freddy is the good guy, but there's some magic and more fantasy involved in this. I know some people have compared it to Sandman, maybe a tiny bit, but not much.
Well,
Uh,
people like to always make comparisons, and usually without reading it, and they
yeah,
and then they realize how different it really is, right?
right, right. I get a lot of that.
Well, you got a lot of that with Ninja Kaiden, and I didn't even realize that he fights ghosts.
Right,
The
right.
suit allows you to fight ghosts.
I mean, I've gotten some of the weirdest stuff. I've gotten RoboCop for Ninja Kaiden. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I
Wherever
hear
your fantasy mind takes you, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear crazy comparisons all the time, and they'll just pluck something out of I don't know. They're both in a metal suit, so it's Terminator, and it's like no, man, it's like no.
Yeah,
But again, you have a very good mix of really great art, a sequential storytelling, which is the difference between a professional book and an indie book, because you can have indie books that have pretty art, but can that artist tell a story?
right.
And between the writing and your sequential work, they're absolutely professional level books. I want to see them start getting into the 50,000, 60,000 a month range. I want to Guys like you are important in my opinion because you care about comics and bringing comics back to being what we couldn't wait for Wednesday for, you know, and that's important. And in my personal dealings with you, you're also just a man of integrity, and I appreciate that because a lot of people that goes by the wayside when there's a chance to make money, and you are successful at Black Box while maintaining that. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
Raphael said Black Box books are different and good. Yeah, you know, and that's the thing.
Thanks, bro.
A lot of people have superhero fatigue, but I want to tell you that you know I guess you could throw some of these characters in the superhero genre, but it's really not that cut and dry. It is different. It is fun. It is exciting. You have fantasy, horror, magic, mysticism, martial arts, espionage, military. You've got everything going on,
Yeah.
and there's really something for everybody. So I would really recommend them going to your website, which I want you to shout out, so they can look at the different titles that they can either pick up from you or get on their pull list.
Yeah, it's blackboxcomics.net.
Very
And
cool.
Black Box Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and for Twitter, it's at Black Box Comics P. If anybody wants to follow us,
Now, how many titles do you have out? Like 12, right?
I believe it's 12. Yeah,
Oh, that was a good guess. All right.
and
See,
I
I
have
pay
another.
attention.
I think it's like 12 to 15 that I'm working on right now.
So, obviously, I don't know what you can divulge, but where is Black Box going from here?
I mean, I get a lot of, can you guys put out more books, more titles per month? My focus is not so much the quantity; it's more the quality. I don't want to lose control and just put out stuff just for the sake of it. Because this stuff is forever. So I
Right.
want things to be meaningful, memorable, well executed. I want to have the time to look for the right artists, the right writers, even the variant artists, even the colorists and letterers, which a lot of people don't give enough credit to and attention
I
to.
agree. When a
But
colorist or a letterer does something great, nobody notices. But when they do it wrong, you notice.
right, right. So I think certain people fit a certain mold with a certain style, and I do spend a lot of time trying to find who's the right person for the book. And if you see like Dream Master, I don't know if you've seen some of the interior pages.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
They're insane, and that is the type of artist you need for what we're doing in that story.
Right, because of that world that you're dealing with, and it's this supernatural and really epic,
Right.
mystical realm. Yeah, I've seen some of the splash panels and things like that, and it's a gorgeous book.
Yeah. And
It really intrigued me.
the more you look at it, the more you'll see some stuff that you probably didn't see last time. I mean, there's just so much detail and things that he puts in the background. It's just an insane looking book.
Now, you have more titles coming out. Obviously, you're growing and you're moving. Um, does previews help you? Do you feel with on the distribution side, or I mean, because I know you still got to market yourself, but do you think previews helps you at all?
When do you mean help you? Do you mean do they push us?
No, I know they don't push you, but do you think that being in previews that you're getting a serious look by the retailers?
I'm not sure how much they're really looking at previews, to be honest. I mean, a lot of my push is word of mouth, direct contact with shops that I've done. Like I've called numerous shops. I probably called almost all of them at this point.
That's like 2,200 shops all over the world, all
Yeah,
over the country. I mean,
yeah. I've done emails. I've done, DMs. I've done everything. So I've done every avenue, and then obviously some of them found me. Some of them is word of mouth through their customers who put in a
right.
pre-order, which is probably one of the most important things for people to do because that'll get your shop to start ordering it, right? Like if you expect them to just order it, they may not, or they might just
Because they
order
don't
one
want to take a
copy.
risk and sit on inventory. They need to know someone wants to pick it up off the shelves.
And us, as creators or publishers, we have to understand. the risks shops take, right? Like the limited shelf space they have, the rents they pay, the payroll they have to pay. So our job is to produce the best quality book so that they have a good product to sell.
Now, DC and Marvel used to do returns. Do you do anything like that, or it's just you order, you get, and that's it?
Um, I if they contacted me and say, hey, I got these books from you that were damaged, I would obviously easily return them. I mean, stuff like that we've done. So that's not a problem. I mean, I don't want them being stuck with stuff that they can't push.
Right. Raphael says people have superhero fatigue because they are told they have it. Fair enough. He said, "Don't great work. Don't be a Marvel to DC." Oh, he won't. Um, Jordan said, "Can't wait to get my Dream Master 1 and 2 when they come out." Yeah, I'm looking forward to that book a lot. And Dimitrios, call up Key Elements Comics in Wasion or Ohio. That's my LCS. Awesome.
Okay. Key elements.
Now, you mentioned about your, looking for the right artists and things like that. Do you take, like, does your website have artist submission, a place for artist submission or things like that? Or is it just you going out there and looking around?
It's mostly me. I mean, I've gotten some here and there that will reach out, but it's mostly just me reaching out because I have to find the style that's going to fit the story.
Right.
So, it's not like I'm randomly just taking whatever's in the file. I really like I said, a matchup. If you saw Jin Hunter, that guy has like a anime manga style.
Right.
So I looked for that, and he was the perfect style for that.
We
Sorry.
lost you. It went black. There you go.
Hold on.
Oh, your screen went off.
Yeah. Got to keep
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna look at the Gen 2 because you have the collected trade on Kickstarter right now. We're gonna take a look at that page in a minute. Uh, and that's the thing with you being in distribution. You didn't really get that groundswell from Kickstarter. Your fans are all going to LCS right now. So
Right.
I know you had done one Kickstarter before. You said in the beginning, but that was the beginning. How was it going back? Was it kind of like Bizarro World for you, or because it really is a different beast than distribution?
It is. I mean, I think this might be my fourth.
Okay, so you've done a few. Okay.
Yeah, each one has been successful. And the first one was the only one that we did for a single floppy, which was Biggs and Tiny. The other
Right.
ones were like Militia, Cyclist, and Shinokaye, for example. And those were for the trade, the collected series. And we did well. I mean, it did what we needed to do. We reached our goals. I'm hoping we're tapping into a new audience, which I think is a different crowd when you're doing it.
And you get a mailing list off of Kickstarter.
Yeah, and you build your fan base this way, right? You got to use every avenue you possibly can.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it's ever either this or that. I think it's do as many of the avenues that you can and just build a fan base.
Well, my analogy is always, if you're a single guy and you ask 3 girls out, you got a low chance of a yes, possibly, right? Unless you're like some big stud or rich or whatever. But if you ask 100 girls out, one is going to say yes, right? So, you want 100 avenues, not 3, right? You're going to take as many avenues as you can.
Yeah, I mean, again, like every platform has its own industry, its own audience. So, going to the shops, or even if you go to the shop, right, you're gonna tap into a new audience in the sense that there's people who might come buy the book from you, rather than them seeing it on the wall where they might just ignore it.
Right.
And I've done that before with people. I'm like, oh, I never realized my shop carries this book or this company, and you get to talk to them, they get to know you. And I've met some really, really great people, man. When I've done some shop signings, and you build a good relationship with people.
And that was my next question: is how often do you do shop signings? Do you travel to them? You're just doing local right now, or?
I've traveled. I've done some. Like I did some in Massachusetts a while ago. But most of it's East Coast, obviously. So I try to stay somewhat local.
Well, you got family and responsibilities, and you're just trying to keep costs down because you want the cost to go into the quality of the book. So.
Yeah, I mean that too. I mean, you have to have the time. When you have kids, you're running to the shop and running back for the kids and taking them to wherever you need to take them, right?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. As a matter of fact, it totally slipped my mind to tell you that the Sayville Library has a little convention this weekend, and that guy gets like 12, 1,500 people in the door. So
Yeah,
I don't know if he still has room. You should go check it out. Um, Raphael said he got his gin hunter at Royal Collectibles, which is a great shop, and Mike, and
really.
he dropped the link for you. Thank you, Raphael. Um, So we're going to take a look at this Kickstarter because it's got 24 days to go, and we want to get this thing funded now, and we want to get this up because I'm very serious. I say this all the time. People complain that Marvel and DC are just not caring about the fans anymore. They're not writing quality stuff for the most part. Maybe one or two titles they like, but most of it's garbage. Well, if that's the case, maybe you should cut back on your titles every month with them and invest in people like Black Box Comics that have a passion for comics. They care about what they're putting out there. It's more than just trying to get money. It's their passion for what comics had always been. That excitement of Wednesday. It was like Christmas every week. You know, and these are the companies you have to support. I mean, these are all right. Granted, we have IPs are 50, 60 years old with Marvel and DC. Nobody's saying stop looking at them, but you might just find a new character that really resonates with you. That never, like like maybe like Batman does. You might pick up Dream Master and go, oh my God, this is different. This is cool, and I'm into the cat.
Yeah,
And it's not Black Cat Comics, it's Black Box.
yep,
Anyway,
yeah,
Um, so you just don't know. I always say forego that cup of coffee this week at Starbucks, just one cup, and pick up an issue, a new issue. Just try to read something new. People can be creatures of habit, but once you let it out there and you try something new, you usually sit there and go, "Oh man, I'm so glad I tried this." You know?
yeah. I mean, there's always a place for, Marvel, DC, obviously, because a lot of us grew up on that, right? And that was part of our motivation to do what we do, and it inspired us, right? So many great creators that came from there. But
Agreed.
I do think indie is the way to go today. I think they're putting out, honestly, the best stories. You're not, forced to do anything. There's a lot of creative leniency for people to do
Sure.
what they want to do and tell the stories they want to tell. So I think it's just a lot of fun. I mean, you're just breaking out of that mold that people are used to and just do something completely different. So,
Yeah, and like I said, your titles are different. They're new, they're fresh, they're different. I'll go back to Devil's Dominion. I mean, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in any other book. I have not, and it's not been done before, and it's really good. And again, you have something for everybody, whether it's grounded military espionage, things like that, or you want to go into, martial arts and more superhero stuff, also supernatural, mysticism, magic, and Jin Hunter. We're going into magic, so we're gonna put this up. This is the Kickstarter. Did you want me to play the trailer? I can do
yeah,
that.
go ahead.
All right, so we're going to play the trailer. This is Jin Hunter Volume 1 trade paperback. This is Black Box Comics, who does very well in stores, but they're doing this Kickstarter for the trade paperback. This is the only place you can get this, correct?
Right. For this cover, yeah.
Okay. So the cover is an exclusive for this Kickstarter only. So
Right.
after you see this trailer, you're all going to hit this green back this project and pledge, so I don't have to toilet paper your house. That's my favorite.
Yeah, those are great.
So obviously the artwork is top notch, but the colorist did a hell of a job too. Beautiful, beautiful work. And yeah, I have the T-shirt of that cover. And thanks, by the way. It's that one cover is my favorite, but they're all the art's fantastic. So give us a little synopsis on what Gin Hunter is, and then we'll go through kind of the rewards, etc.
Well, what we have as the, short synopsis is the cosmos are in chaos. The Elder Council of Jin must stop their rogue member Abyss and his minions from granting wishes to mortals, resulting in untold horrors. The council's solution is an early prison release for Zara, the Jin Hunter. With her Phoenix parole officer Binu, will she hunt down the mad Jin or doom the realms to destruction? So basically think of her as the genie bounty hunter.
Yeah, and it's good. I'm just letting everybody know I've read it. It's good. It's a good book.
So yeah, basically there's other Jin that provide wishes that turn out bad, and she's out there to stop them from doing that.
It's got a lot of action, some humor, and just good exposition. The pace of the stories, and that's what some comic creators have difficulty with. The pacing is solid. You never feel any parts of the book are dragging, but you also don't feel like it's being rushed through either. You get to know the characters, her relationship with the Phoenix, and their banter back and forth, and what they do, and her with the council, and their disapproval, and what the council's dealings with each other. Um, well written book, very balanced, a lot of fun, energetic. And again, it's got that manga style. Even though it's a Western book, if you're into manga, you might actually like this book too.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it doesn't matter what style you're really into. I think when you read this, I think you'll enjoy what the concept is and how the story is, the art. A lot of people are afraid to try something different, but I would definitely recommend trying this.
Listen, for what is it, $3.99 retail on these books, or $4.99?
$3.99.
That's what I thought. For $4, guys, you might find the next thing that really entertains you, right? I mean, how many people knew what Stranger Things was before they just were bored and one night saw it and said, "All right, let me give it a try," based on a 30-word synopsis, right? Do it for comics. You'd really be surprised.
And we had, like I said, we had a great team. Jay Sandlin was the one who wrote this. Fabricio Casentino is the one who did the art and colors, letters. We had script edits by Sina IL, a really, really nice person to work with. And for the trade, the artist is Raymond Gay. He's done a couple of variant covers for me. Really talented dude. And colorist is Elena Di Napoli. Amazing to work with. Always puts out her best in the colors. You can see it in that cover. I mean, that's a stunning cover. I mean, I love that cover.
Which one?
The one that's on Kickstarter, the Gin Hunter.
This one here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great cover.
I agree. Listen, people don't understand how hard foreshortening and things like that are for art too. To have that weapon, on the chain coming at you like that, that's a sign of a very, very talented artist.
Yeah. He actually, I believe he just did a cover for Spawn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so his name is getting out there. There's a lot of talent that we have. I mean, even though we have some well-known names, we have a lot of indie talent that's just on the rise, and 3 of them have already gone between Marvel and DC.
Nice.
Like Federico Sabatini was on Biggs and Tiny, and
Right.
he went to work for Marvel. I believe he worked on Spider-Man and now Moon Knight.
Very cool.
Jethro Morales worked on Militia, and he was doing, I I think something for Spider-Man and like the Marvel Voices, I believe he was doing recently. And then the guy who did Ninja Kaiden, which is Lucas Mayer, really young guy, super talented, great to work with, and he just got hired by DC. So he's doing a Titans book for them.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I mean, clearly
So,
they're
go
being picked up. You know what I mean? So these guys are A quality. You know,
which shows that you have an eye for talent, which is important as a
appreciate
publisher.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So there's an exclusive holo foil by Lucas Wernick as well, huh?
Yeah. So Lucas, his rep was actually the guy Joe Prado. I don't know if you know Joe.
Of course I do.
Joe's a really nice guy. And we've talked several times, and he'll recommend people to me. Um, and he cares about the talent he represents. So he mentioned Lucas Wernick, and I checked out his work. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I was like, oh, this guy's got to do a cover for Gin Hunter, one of the exclusives. And I mean, you could see for yourself, but it's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. This is my favorite.
Yeah, I know you like that one.
Very
They're both
cool.
great. They're hard for me to pick a favorite, but I love them all. That was another. I think that was the one of the other variants for number one. But the other two we were looking at were the holofoils, and this one is not a holofoil.
And the holofoils are exclusive only to this campaign.
No, we have them on the site, but we made them for this campaign, and the benefit is with the rewards and the stretch goals, you can get so much more for it. So that's
Okay,
the
cool.
purpose of it.
If you ever looking for some up and coming talent, I rep some people too.
I'll let you know.
I know you know. I'm just busting your
You've
balls.
done great, man. I mean, you have amazing variant covers. I know with some big names and some indie talent, which is great.
Yeah, I just want to support artists. And here's a nice list of titles you have available. Obviously not including Dream Master. Oh yeah, it is there. Oh, never mind. Okay, very cool. I have to tell you, I have read Shinokai, and that is awesome. Devil's Dominion is awesome. Djinn is awesome. And Ninja Kaiden is awesome. And those are the titles I've read so far, and I highly recommend them. And again, I'm looking forward to Dream Master. So they're building a nice library here, guys, and you really there's something for everybody. I mean, look, there's so many different titles. You guys should check this out. We got some stretch goals. You want to tell us about those?
Yeah, so the first one is if they reach 4,000 and they meet, the backer, which is I think a fair amount that I listed. They'll get a black box pen, and then the second one is a black box bookmark once we hit that. And the third one there, you can see I'm going to give them a free copy of IT number one,
Very cool.
and then I'm talking about a couple other great rewards. I think I pretty much have them figured out for the next three. So they'll be excited to get those rewards. So hopefully we could get there so people could get all of them.
Cool. So I'm going to go over the tiers. I'm going to leave this nice, beautiful picture right there for a minute for people to absorb. I want everybody to know that this pledge with a reward, you can make this any denomination you want just by plugging it in. If it's $1, if it's five, you want to throw 500, that'd be awesome. But you can donate whatever you wish. Maybe comics aren't your thing, but you really support a hardworking self-publisher who is coming from the ground up. Maybe you want to throw a little money in there just to say good luck. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Pledge $7. I mean, $7, guys. Kickstarter. That's a low price for the first copy of Gin Hunter. You got a digital of the trade paperback. Maybe you don't have room in your house, and or your wife or your husband are getting on you about having too many comics. Well, get a digital. And then
Yep.
we've got
At
you
least
could buy
112 pages, so it's well worth it.
absolutely. Get the paperback for 25, exclusive holofoil cover for 40. Again, the prices are fair. They're not, outrageous by any means. You got guys doing foils for $100. It's like, my lord, that better come with dinner and a date. So very cool. We got the other exclusive foil, as we saw, the variant covers. If you want to get all the variants, all the number ones from all the books that they carry. That's a fair price as well. Ooh, mystery boxes. I've found out on my last two campaigns, people like mystery boxes.
Yeah, it
Very
seems to be
cool.
pretty popular.
12 random. Oh wow, 12 random black box comics issues. Very cool. With at least four variants will be included, and a black box T-shirt. Very nice. For 100, you can collect all six trade paperbacks. That's a steal. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I mean,
Russ
look, you
Russ
get
said you're
people to try
welcome.
and
Did
get your
Russ
books.
do this campaign? Oh, you're talking about the mystery box. Yes, Russ. Thank you. Um, sorry, what were you saying, Demetrius?
I said you get people to try out your books, to try to spread it out, by giving a sample of either each issue or each trade or whatever. So
I agree.
definitely worth those rewards. Made it very affordable.
And they get the digital collection. Fantastic. And the black box collection. Collect all of the current black box titles. 59 single issues for $200. Do the math, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you get the Dream Master #1. Oh wow. Very cool. And what are we looking at distribution? I mean, fulfillment for this. What is your? I mean, obviously, sometimes things happen out of your control, but what is your ETA on that?
I mean, I think I have everything listed here by the latest
December.
December. Yeah.
Oh, good. So you're not wasting any time.
No.
And then you get for 500 the variant collection, all 36 variants. Fantastic. And there you go. I mean, guys, you got everything here. It's a comic book lovers one-stop shop here. And trust me to tell you, there's so many different titles. They're not repetitive. It's not the same old thing. Each title is giving you a new genre, a new story, a new character. Uh, I, I, re- I really am impressed with you, man. I I'm hoping to follow in your footsteps, and I think you are you had the courage, the competency, and the networking ability to get this going, do the things that a lot of people want to do and either don't think they can do or are too afraid to do or just don't have the ability to do. And you're exactly what we need to support in this industry. And I'm serious about that.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. I mean, there's a lot of other great creators out there. So, I mean, we're all, chopping at the bit and trying to slowly, one step at a time.
Agreed. But when you have the balls to do what you're doing and get out there, it can be very scary. There's a lot of monetary loss in the beginning until you start getting to where you're at now. Um, people gotta reward that. They really do, especially since you're putting out quality work. You're not just putting out crap. You're not just putting out fad stuff or the quick buck easy stuff. And I'm not gonna name what those things are, but you're putting out quality titles. You're doing this the right way, ground up. And 10 years from now, when you're on that Image Comics level and Dark Horse level, etc., it's gonna be cool to see, man.
I mean, I hope if we could get that at that high level. I mean, I'm doing it slowly right now, but who knows? We might make some big jump at some point.
Yeah, I just believe life is geology, time and pressure. If you put in the time and you continue applying the pressure, water erodes rock.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm working on over 12 titles now. So, um, you know, I could put them all out at the same time, but I prefer to build naturally, slowly. I don't want to overwhelm the shops because, again, you have to understand they take a risk on you as an indie, and you have to build trust with them. You have to show them that you could put out a quality product and create sales for them. And I think then you can move on to putting out 2 or 3 titles a month. Then you move on to maybe 5. You just can't do it all at once. And
Right.
I know some people who have, and they got into a little bit of trouble, and it makes it difficult, financially.
Well, I mean, I think it's a smart move to use distribution to push titles, but also you can still use Kickstarter for supplemental income, other revenue streams to help offset expenses, costs, etc.
Right.
I think that's a very smart move. You and I have discussed that before,
Yeah.
and I think it's a good way to go. I think having crowdfunding is a big help that you didn't have back then. Like when Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were doing Turtles, you need to come out of the gate sharp because
Yeah.
it wasn't easy. So
Different time.
it's evident you're on the right track.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So
Gin Hunter, I was going to mention, I don't know if you saw it. It was listed as #1 by CBR's 10 upcoming indie comics to anticipate in 2021. So when we were putting out the single issues last year, they listed it as #1. I put the link there. You can copy paste it to follow it.
very cool. Very cool. Guys, it's not easy to get on those news sites about comics, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
You and I talked about that too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 112 pages of quality story. As you can see, amazing art, beautiful colors, and you're not breaking the bank to do it. So, I mean, as you can see, I was already saved to keep an eye on this. I own the 5 issues, but I'm still going to back the trade. I believe in what Dimitrios is doing, and he deserves my money. Um, and I think I think he's earned, the trust and respect in yours as well. But that's just me. Um, so this number hasn't gone up yet. Am I going to have to toilet paper all your houses? Let's go. We got 24 days to go, 43 backers, $1,790 of 2,000. So he's right near funding. Again, he's not asking for a lot of money. It's obviously to cover costs, etc. So let's support this. I read the book, the series. It's really good. It really is, and I look forward to supporting the trade as well. So after Dream Master, can you tell us what's coming? What's next?
I got 2 titles. I haven't decided which one is going to be next. I will tell you a little bit. I haven't really shown anything to anybody yet, but I can tell you one of them is called Empath, which is basically somebody who can absorb emotions and things of that nature. So he's like a street level character. And the other one is called Dead Detective, which is a detective who's alive and a detective who's dead that are partners, and they basically solve cases in both worlds with that connection.
Now, on all your titles, do you do the outlines and then you have a writer go ahead and write, or do they?
It all depends. It depends. I mean, I've done some very detailed outlines, and then I've done some just very loose that gives them a lot of room for creativity, and they can kind of run with it as long as they, maintain the concept of what it is.
I'd imagine for Chuck it was a little loose, right?
Chuck, yeah, I mean, he knew though what we wanted, and so he just ran with it. I mean, he knew exactly which route to take with it, and he knew a lot about it, things that military that I don't know about. And
Dude, he researches military history. He's so smart with that stuff. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he told me his father served, so I learned some things from him from the military side of it.
Very cool. Kenny's here. Who's that? The Kenster in the building. Are you eating, Kenny? Oh no, you're probably not eating because you're not in front of the camera. He was on my live stream last night. Very awesome. So again, tell us why we want Gin Hunter, the trade paperback. Tell us all about Black Comics again, where we can find you, and how we should be telling our LCS about ordering your books.
Yeah, definitely tell your LCS to pre-order. If you're looking to get it from our website, it's blackboxcomics.net. And I always prefer everybody go to the shops, though. I'd rather support the shops. It's not so much about me. Obviously, I would make more money, but that's not the point of it. I'd rather the shops get a piece of it because we're growing with them and because of them. So they've taken risks for everyone, not just me, but for everyone, and that you want them to benefit from as well.
Very cool. So tell us, why do we want Gin Hunter?
So Gin Hunter to me is like a unique story. Obviously, the art is probably different than most things that you've seen. The character, our female-led character, Zara, is, like I said, the bounty hunter for genies that provide bad wishes, granting bad wishes to people. And I don't want to ruin parts of the story, but I mean, you could tell from some of the previews we've done and what goes on. Like if you look at issue 1, she's battling some like demons and whatever, and then you could look at that last page there. I don't know if you could scroll down a little bit, but it's the one where there's like a staircase.
Yeah.
So you could see that was kind of the result of one wish. So the question is, how did that happen, and who was involved, and who did she go after? So all that kind of stuff, and the character development. There's a sorceress that's involved, the council. There's the evil Jinn. There's the Phoenix, obviously, which is like her sidekick, Binu. It's just super unique, man. I mean, I don't think there's anything out there like it. So,
I agree.
So well with it. Like I said, we're already working on volume 2, and we just started volume 3 on scripts. So,
and just look at this. Look at how gorgeous that is. I mean, just aesthetically, it's so pleasing. Look at that page. It's crazy. And again, Dream Master is coming out in 3 weeks, November 30th. It'll be at your LCS. Tell them you want to buy it. You're going to want to. Do you have any graphics you could have send me? Can send me right now real quick on Facebook DM? I'll show close-ups of Dream Master.
Yeah, give me a sec. Actually, if you go to on YouTube, we have our own channel, a black box. It shows the video, if that's helpful.
Yeah. Which I actually, I'm kind of come on, you're so slow. Yeah. Meanwhile, when I type it, it pops up you and me talking right now. So we got the Ninja Kaidan.
Should be in the shorts, I think.
What the heck is? Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty cool video if you want to play it.
Very cool. I showed Devil's Dominion too. I like that book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I want to show a few more, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. I think we did a pretty good job on these videos.
I agree.
When you advertise with Google, search ads are just the beginning.
Look at you, Mr.
Your ads appear
Monetized.
across the Google network.
We also got a friend of mine, Sean Chen, to do a cover. I love Sean.
Sounds awesome.
Very cool. So that's just a sampling, guys, of what you get with Black Box Comics. Oh, there's Sean. Just as I said that, Sean Chen showed up. Look at that. Sorry, this is running again. Oh, you know what? Let's play this. How are you, Sean? I just saw Sean in Baltimore. He was probably trying to run the other way, but it's okay. So Sean said, he says, I'm good. Let me get my middle finger soda cup. So I don't know if you all know Sean, but he has a great sense of humor, and he's very, he's got great ingenuity, right? So he put a medical glove, and when you blow into the straw, it puts up the middle finger at you. So when I saw him, before I get him to say hello, he just turns around and blows into the cup and blows his finger. It's great.
Yeah, he's got a good sense of humor. He's a funny dude.
What makes me laugh most about him is sometimes he's very serious and deadpan when he says something, and unless you're paying attention, it goes right over your head. And when I watch someone, I'm chuckling, and I watch people look at him like they didn't get that. They didn't hear what he just said. That was great.
You had him do some covers for you as well, right?
Yeah, he did a cover for me on book one.
Yeah.
And he's a regular at my shows. I chloroform and duct tape and.
You're getting another show or what?
Everybody's asking me that. It's just tough because right now all my money's going into the publishing company. But yes, I'm itching to do another show badly. I have an investor, but I don't know, man. The investor's a good guy and he's trustworthy and he's a friend, but I don't know. I like doing things myself.
Me too.
You know, I like calling the shots. I like, because if things go wrong, no one to blame but me. If things go right, no one to blame but me.
It's easier to deal with the headaches, right? It's your fault.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I do want to do it. I mean, I could do a smaller show and have some, local talent there and, big names that are local as well. I'm always a go big or go home kind of guy. And sometimes that's stressful for my wife, but.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Well, that's funny because, when you and I had talked, I realized how similar we really are, considering you're Greek and I'm Irish now. But seriously, we have similar mindsets. So, I mean, no offense, I am kind of better looking, but although I'm gray.
I
Um,
think you're the host, right?
yeah. Well, you just giggle like, no, you're not.
No, no,
But be careful, you get a black cat running in front of you. But anyway,
he's all over the place.
actually, I had a black cat run in front of me just now. With that happened. Oh God, that's all I need. Oh God, I got more
Got,
bad.
I got cats, dogs, fish. I got
Oh
everything.
God, yeah, kids.
Yeah, everything, man. Nothing missing.
Well, seriously, man, it was good to have you on to talk to you. I want to see this Kickstarter, really do well. You are one of the guys with integrity, one of the people of integrity in this industry. No ego. You look to help others. I'm not even going to get into the kindness you've shown me when you didn't have to. You could have seen me as a rival on some level. Obviously, not at your level at this point, but and you don't, and you try to build people up. And I just hope that your integrity, your dignity, your kindness, and your hard work are rewarded, because you're really doing something special here, and you're doing it well.
Well, I believe a rising tide raises all boats, right? And you always got to show uh, the same appreciation and respect that other people have shown you as well, right? So you always got to pass that down. So I'm very grateful for things that I've learned along the way, and I'm happy to share that with other people. Um, it's not a competition at all. I think we're all doing just something different, something unique, but at the same time, it's still a community, and I think we all grow together. You know,
I agree, and I think you're leading by example for a lot of people.
what I would really like is to see the community expand further, and I think for some reason, I don't believe we reached the potential, and not anywhere near what it could be. Um,
Well, I think a large reason is distribution, exposure, getting out there. Kickstarter is limited, and you're facing hard algorithms with Facebook and Instagram. They're burying you, so there's people hustling and posting, but they're not reaching new audiences. And I think between distribution and social media not being very social, it's a hard mountain to climb.
yeah, and when we were younger, I mean, everyone was carrying a comic book, right? Even like your local store. It wasn't just focused on just comic shops. I mean, you
Right,
would get one anywhere, and they got a
right.
little bit more exposure because of that.
I agree. But with Luna and Penguin House, you can get into bookstores now, at least, Barnes and Nobles and things like that.
Yeah, I think there's them, and there's probably going to be a lot more. I think trying to get into the comic distribution game. So we'll see how that plays out.
I
And
agree.
hope that
I think the person who's got the capital and the time to build a distribution system for indie comics, that person's going to skyrocket. I mean, but you know, it also starts with, if you want quality books in the indie community, you have to start investing money into the indie community. So the fans see these books, please invest a little bit of money and a little time, even if it's $5 or whatever, because no industry survives if it doesn't have a circulating economy. And you need to, you know, if you're sick of what's in mainstream, or if you like it but you want it supplemented by even more great content, you have to invest in us. You have to start backing the Kickstarters of the people that are really putting out quality content.
Yeah, and I think it's important to get kids to read, man. I mean, kids loved comics back in the days, and now you don't really see as much of that. Most of them, they're probably on an iPad or some other form of like social media everyone's playing with. I just
Or
think it's
watching the movie instead.
right. I mean, which is fine. I mean, all of that's fine. It's just giving a kid a chance to read, I think, is great. I think it helps build imagination and creativity. So, that's something that's along the plan for me, is at some point to create a kids line. Um,
Very cool.
Most of the stuff that we've done is for adult or young adult, but I mean, we're going to hit the kids line soon too.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that's important. I agree. They're the future of comic collectors, right?
Right?
If
They
we
are.
don't nurture them, if we don't nurture them, we're all gonna die off.
Yeah, sure will. We sure will.
Very
But
cool.
I mean, it's also like the number of shops. In the 90s, I believe we had around maybe 10,000 shops, I think,
Yeah, I
early
know.
90s. And now it's like 2,500, something like that.
Well, this is my theory, and I don't have any facts or figures to quantify this, but just from observations, looking at history, I think we're reliving sort of the '90s. The bubble's going to burst probably in the next 5 years, and I think we're going to start seeing a resurgence in quality comics again and reading comics when all this nonsense stops. I
Yeah,
think right now we're in an investor world.
yeah,
People they're slabbing books, they're buying art and books because of what they think is going to be a turnaround investment. And we did this in the '90s, and it didn't work then. It's not going to work now. I mean, think about this. At least in the '90s, when you were slabbing Hulk 181, it's because that book was rare. So you have one of the few left in great condition, right?
yeah,
People are slabbing modern books.
right,
So none of those books are going to be rare anymore, or they're not going to be. So where's the value?
yeah,
And they're falsely inflating the value through movies and appearances and stuff. And then after you spend all that money on the book, it just drops anyway.
yeah. I mean, look, the speculators is part of the game. I'm not against it. It helps fund and help provide profit for publishers, creators, and shops. I do think though, if you're trying to look at it from a speculator standpoint, you should be looking for that indie, that diamond in the rough, right? If you're
Right.
looking to spend $4, you're going to do it with a company that puts out quality stories, that's unique, that has potential to grow. Um,
I
so
agree with you.
sometimes I just see, odd stuff being speculated on, so I don't understand sometimes some of it.
Well,
But
there's a lot of nepotism in this industry, and people are pushing their best friend or their brothers or their sisters or their whatever's stuff too. So that
yeah,
goes on behind the scenes.
yeah, I'm sure there's stuff like that, of course. It's
But either
unfortunate.
way, look, I think you're doing something special here. I think you're going to be looked back as a pioneer of sorts at some point. Everybody's saying there's an explosion right now. I don't really think there is. I don't think there's an explosion right now. I think indie is getting better. There's a lot more quality stuff, but I wouldn't use the word explosion because we're not seeing the exposure, the benefits, etc. yet. But I do think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that you're one of those people that's going to show everybody what you can, we can do this. So
thank
kudos to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Um, I hope Sean paid you to do the cover to work with him because man, is he a diva. But
He's awesome. No, he's great. He's done a couple of covers for us, man. He did issue 3 for Ninja Kaiden. He did issue 3 for Militia. He did Cyclist. He did the trade cover. So he's done some phenomenal work, man. I enjoy working with him.
for me, it was as simple as, "Hey, Sean, would you do a cover?" Sure. I give him the references. He comes back with a rough. I'm like, the rough looks fantastic. Comes back with the finished pencils in like 2 weeks. Freaking thing looks gorgeous, and that
Yeah,
was it. It was
yeah,
that simple with Sean. It was
he's
just
good. And he's actually friends with a buddy of mine, Bernard Chang. I don't know if you know Bernard, but
yeah, I know Bernard.
yeah, Bernard's a really great dude. Really awesome dude.
Just don't let Sean read your book and then stand at your convention and shout out the ending to everybody.
Why has he done that to you?
Yes, he goes, "Where's
Oh,
my soda?" He goes, "Where's my soda cup?"
that's pretty funny.
Sean I had a small satellite show during COVID, right? And we had a flash flood that morning, whatever. So the attendance wasn't great, but they were all spending. Everybody made money. Sean walks up to my booth, my table where I was selling Tragedy #1, and at the time, that's all I had out. And and the ending of Tragedy #1, right?
Yeah.
So he shouts out, he goes, "I can't believe you, blah blah blah." I was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "No need to buy. I'll spoil it and save the money." And then he was like, "Oh, sorry."
I was going to mention
Sean's great.
what I want to do. I'm trying to, and who knows, maybe we could talk about it offline, but at least we can mention it here. Like trying to get some variants from some legends. Some of the guys who should be getting more work and they're not.
It's funny that you're mentioning that because I'm doing a Legends line and I'm gonna have some Legends doing covers. We're talking Bob McLeod, Alex Saviuk.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome. That's really, really
yeah,
good.
some other names that I can't name yet because it's been said that yes, they'll do it, but nothing's been written in stone. So I won't. I don't try not to throw names out until I know it's concrete. But it's funny that you say that. Yeah, I'm going to do a Legends line of covers.
No, it's
I
good.
want to get Ramona Fraden as well. I mean, she's 92 years old and she can still draw.
I
God
know.
bless her.
I've actually asked about that too as well. That's kind of funny.
Catskill Comics, yeah.
Yeah, because I got Ron Friends from there, so I asked for Ramona because of that.
Yeah, Ron is awesome too. I haven't had the privilege of working with him yet, but he's such a nice guy and obviously one of the greats. So, but yeah, we'll talk. Um, who knows? Maybe I'll sell a Duello and see if Sean will do another cover now. Sean's so busy right now; he has no time for anything. I'm surprised he's looking at this show. He's probably drawing while he's listening to this because he's been so damn busy. It's good for him though.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Sean to me he's probably one of the most underrated artists in the industry, if you ask me.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean he's incredible what he can do. His backgrounds and obviously his characters. He's a pro's pro, man, and he's very humble. And I appreciate that about him. When he's not
Everybody
flipping
should
in
be
his hand with
hiring
a
Sean
soda
Chen.
cup.
So
What's that?
whoever's watching, hire Sean Chen.
Yeah. Well, he's so busy, I don't even think he needs the solicitation. I'm just being honest. But you know what you can do? Sean Chen has a book that is awesome, Seventh Sign, and if you don't have it, Demetrius, you should buy it from him. It is so good. He really can write, and he's I don't know he's a
Pick it
very
up.
intelligent man. But yeah, it's a really good story. It's got great humor. Wingman, that's it. It's based on the Seventh Sign. Sorry, um, Wingman. Wingman is a great book, and it's funny, but it's also got sense of morality, and it's touching, and obviously it's Sean's art, and he did a new rendition of it. I have the original one he did, I think through Heavy Metal, but he has a new one. It's such a nice book. He gives you little critiques and tips on sequential stuff on the side. And I think he's doing remarks on the cover for a little more money, which is so worth it. But reach out to Sean. He said I'll spoil it for you. Reach out to Sean for his book Wingman. I have it in every iteration he created. I used to look forward to every page he put up on Instagram. Um, Sorry, I know this is your story, but it's so good. You really should go to Sean and check it out.
Yeah,
And
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
um, Demetrius, man, it's great to talk to you live. I
You too,
really
Paul.
wish you success.
Thank you.
I
Same to
really
you.
admire what you're doing. I respect it.
Same to you. You're on the way, man.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
You
I'm
are.
trying.
You are. You got multiple titles going. You have your publishing company. You have Creatorcon. You're active socially, right? On constantly on Facebook and going live. And
Do you know
but
how many? Do you know how many big name artists come to me to the show that I don't even know follow me? Like, dude, you're really hustling. Good job. Tragedy looks good. I'm like, I didn't even know you were looking at me.
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
and you know what? It's not just promoting yourself. You're hopefully expanding the community, right? Like by doing that.
that's
So
what I try to do. You want to promote everybody, like you said, rising tide raises all ships. So
so you're on the way,
we all got to get to Sean Chen level. He's rich and
right?
famous, and
He's got a nice big house.
yeah, I've been by his house actually. Actually, Sean's given me some of the greatest compliments I've ever heard, so I appreciate that. He's a good man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Black Box Comics, blackboxcomics.net. Dream Master coming out November 30th. Ninja Kaiden issue 3 just came out. Issue 4 coming out next month, right? December.
Right.
And we got a Kickstarter, guys. We have a Kickstarter. Did we not mention that? I think we mentioned that. We got a Kickstarter. Gin Hunter Volume 1 trade paperback. Good story, quality artwork, pro level stuff. Go pick it up. Go pledge. Pledge, pledge, pledge. Or I will toilet paper your house.
Thanks, Phil. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, man. My regards to you and your family. And
You too.
anytime you want to share or anything, you know me.
All right. Well, we'll reach out. Thanks, man. We'll talk.
All right.
Appreciate
Peace.
it. Bye.
Be good. So there's Demetrius of Black Box Comics. I'm going to just reiterate this again. I say this with the utmost sincerity. This is a guy that just for a love and passion of comics from the ground up is doing it. He's making a respectable, reputable publishing company happen. He's in stores. Go look at the titles on blackboxcomics.net and pick one. Or even go to your LCS, like you said, and order, put in your drop box, your Dream Master or Ninja Gaiden or something. Okay, Devil's Dominion. A lot of great stuff. All right. I do want to just remind you of a few things. I never do it before the show because I think it's rude. Now that the show is over, I want to remind you all of a couple of things. We literally have 23 hours left of Unknown Heroes. Demetrius had mentioned investing in a small guy. Well, my new comic that's coming out in January, it's getting great reviews already and by some big people. The Dynamics, it debuts. Their first appearance is in this anthology. God willing, it blows up and it's big someday. You're going to be one of the people that has the first appearance. And it's not going to cost you an arm or leg. 7 stories in here, 8 creators. It's really cool. We got 23 hours to go, 70 backers. We're doing pretty good for our first time. So please go check it out. Give it a pledge. Give it a try. We also have original art tiers from Ricardo Silva, who I have the great privilege of repping. Hey, Vince, what's going on? How are you? So please check out Unknown Comics. And then I'm going to debut this trailer real quick because I'm very proud of this. Thank you, Robert Powers. Well, not this one. But actually, let's do this first. Legendary. We just got a backer here. Legendary Illustrations art books. If you love art, we have original art commissions and we have art books. Please check this out. It just launched last night. We're only at literally 24 hours, and we funded in less than 90 minutes, and we unlocked the first stretch goal. We're on our way to the next stretch goal. Look at that handsome guy. Damn, I was heavier though. We got some artists here. There's Will Pladen, who's with us. This is Will's art. This is beautiful. This is the art book. I have the art books with me. That's Ricardo Silva, Kenny Calderon, Rod Rodolfo, Def Shogun Rob Powers, Carlos Ramos, and Bill Lutz. So this is a sample of the talent level you got. My favorite cartoon. I mean, look at that. Beautiful work by some awesome people that I get to represent and befriend. So, I mean, look at that. These art books are for sale on this website. They're on this Kickstarter. Please go support these guys. They work hard. We unlocked a die cut sticker of Ghost Rider, and we are almost ready to unlock this Batman bookmark. Very, very, very cool. Then we got prints. All right, you can get all 7 books. You can pick 3. You can get 1. You can get an original art commission and then buy a book. There's so much you can do. And lastly, starting in December, a project that I'm really proud of, and it's my baby. I'm going to play this trailer for you, and you guys, hopefully you can click the link, which I'll post, to be notified, and hopefully you come out and you pledge for my first ever written prose book. And yes, Sean, it's Prose, my mistake.
Have you ever had your faith in spirituality shaken? Has life had you questioning how and why bad people exist? Why we slave at jobs we hate, or why bad things happen? Do you look inward at what motivates you to keep moving forward despite the hardships of life? These 7 short tales explore the many possible reasons and motivations in an interesting and fictitious way. You don't need to be religious to enjoy these tales that intend to inspire. We may not have all the answers, but these stories make you think of possibilities many never considered.
Thanks to Rob Powers for that. The Devil's in the Details, 7 short stories. Um, it's my first time writing a prose book, probably my last. I enjoy comics for now, but so hopefully you come out December 1st and check that out. It's near and dear to my heart, and I think a lot of people will relate to what's in that book. So that's what I got. And right now we got Unknown Heroes finishing up. Legendary Illustrations art books just started. I've got Devils in the Details coming December. Dynamics is launching in January. Tragedy number 5 is in February. Withered number 1 is in March. Tragedy collected trade of the first 5 issues, which is going to be over 200 pages of story, launches in April. And that has Kenny Calderon's manga version of Tragedy number 1 on the back of it. And then in May, we're starting to cycle all over again. So I'm not playing around. I'm really not. I want this, and I care about what I'm doing, and I'm passionate about it. And that's why I like guys like Dimitrios, because they are passionate and care as well. Um, I'm working very hard to try to grow this and build this, and I really think that you'll like what I'm putting out there. All I ask is that you trust me and give it a shot. That's all I can do. All right. I also get to work with a lot of great people that I appreciate. Very professional, good people, and extremely talented. So thank you so much for that. All right. I don't have a date yet, but it might be next Thursday. I'm going to be interviewing Dan DiDio as my next guest on Creatorcon. I'll get you that date soon. And we got big things coming. All right. I appreciate you guys. And I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Be legendary. And thank God Will's not here to finish this part. And have fun storming the